One, two, one, two. Welcome back, everyone, to the second day of No Code Summit. I would like to introduce you, Miren from Simax, with her next presentation.
Hello, Paris. I'm French. I'm really happy to be here today, and we're going to talk about how much do you really gain with no code. And to talk about that, let's first see who is in the room. So who among you is a no-code editor? Okay, who among you is a no-code integrator? And who among you is a future or maybe a no-code user? Okay, good. Thank you for sharing that with me. My name is Miren, and I've been working in no-code for the past 17 years. In fact, I've been a no-code evangelist since 2004. I'm the co-founder and the CEO of Simax, and Simax is the first CRM ERP that is 100% no-code, and it was created in 2006. So an ERP, I don't know if everyone knows what's an ERP. It's a big software that goes from the CRM to the accounting, going through stocks, sales, purchases, everything. And we created that in 2006, and you can imagine at the time, no one understood what we wanted to do with our solution without programming. and also, everyone was like, so what is it for? And so that's why we created all those features, so everyone would understand. And what is really great is that now I can give you a 17-year feedback on no code, and I want to share that with you today. First, most of you don't know me, but you might know my ex, because he's quite famous. His name is C++. He was my first love. Some would say he was a bit too old for me, but around the year he kept in shape, you know, like going anew. And so I was, I was a C++ programmer, and then I was working for a low-code company called PC Soft that edits low-code software called WinDev for a lot of programmers. 50,000 programmers use WinDev around the world. And after that, I thought maybe it would be interesting to go from generating code to no code at all. And that's when I thought and dreamed about no code. It was in 2004, and 2 years later, I created Simax. So let's go back to our subject. And our subject is, what is the real cost of no code? So let's see about the assumption that we have on no code. Is it really faster and cheaper? So the arguments are the following. You might know them. So if you want to intervene, it's supposed to be much faster than code, and we will see how much faster. And you know, programmers are expensive, so probably it's a mean to hire cheaper staff. It's easier, you can do it yourself. It's more agile for evolutions. And it's safer. So do you think all those assumptions are true? Let's look at that together. First, I'm going to give you this number. Over the past 17 years in no code, on our benchmark, we found that on average, with 1 day of no code, you do the equivalent of 20 days of programming. And it can be much faster. I'm going to give you an example. In 2018, we were a very young company, but we won a big project for the #2 of the veterinarian sector. And we won it because for the demo, in 2 hours, in no code, we created a feature that the competition has estimated at 3 months of programming, and therefore we won. because we could prove it that it was possible. It was not a PowerPoint, oh, you can do that in 3 months. It was really, the feature was there, and that's how. So it can be even more. But sometimes it's too good to be true. I've also lost projects because of unbelievable estimate. I was like, when you give an estimate for 200,000 euros and your competition is above 1 million, then the people would just say, okay, you didn't take the project seriously enough. No, it was seriously enough. It's just that we are faster, we are cheaper. But let's look at how really no code can be cheaper and why. Let's break all those assumptions. And let's see what are the real delays and costs of code. So first, you've got the specification. Especially in big projects, it's very, very important to know where you're going. Then you've got the coding, of course. It takes a long time. You've got testing, very important. You've got meetings. The bigger the project, the higher number of hours you spend in meetings. User training, user interface, data import, documenting, etc. So you need this level of budget to keep your project afloat. Now what happens also is that, unfortunately, you also have hidden costs. And those hidden costs that you don't see beforehand are the cost of evolution and the cost of migration. So sometimes you really need the budget a little bit higher, and this can sink your project also. Now let's look at what happens in no-code. In no-code, in big projects, you always have the same specification. Of course, you've got the no-coding that is much smaller, but you also have testing, you also have meetings, you also have UX, work on UX, the data import, the user training, the documenting, the evolving. So on the no-code projects, for big projects such as the one that we have on ERPs, the gain is really more 50%. It's already really good. I agree with that. The thing is that the smaller the project, the bigger the gain. Because with smaller project, you've got just a little bit of no coding, and sometimes you don't need user training and stuff like that. So of course, then the gain is really important. And sometimes with no code, you just have that. You just have the no code. Like, let's go, we don't test, it works. I've seen it, especially in evolution. Is it true that you can hire cheaper staff for no code? Let's look at that together. Well, we all know that we are living in a worldwide shortage in programmers. They think, some people say that AI will replace them. I don't believe that, because you need programmers to do AI. And also, in France, we lack 80,000 programmers, and it's supposed to be 2 billion in the world, and the salaries are high, that's true. They are high, not everywhere. So let's look at a no-code team versus a code team. In the code team, you usually have a business expert and you have programmers. The role of the business expert is to translate the business, the user specification to the programming team. So he's like a translator, and the programmers, they will do the coding. And in the no-code team, usually you just have one business expert, and you don't need programmers. So are really no-code projects faster? Yes, they are, but really, what is important is that they involve less people. And therefore, we have less meetings and stuff. So now, let's go back to our no-code team versus our code team. So usually, the business expert will do like 30% of the project, and 70% of the project will be done by the programmers. But those programmers, more and more, as we see today, they are offshore, in Bangalore or somewhere. So they are not at the same level of salaries sometimes. And when you have a business expert that does 100% of the project, then this person has usually the salary of a Western country. So is a day of no-code cheaper? Not really. But the project is cheaper because we have less days, right? Can you do it yourself? Well, yes, it's true. And I'm going to present to you Lydia. Lydia, who was a nursery nurse a few years back, and who now is a no-code project manager. So it's really possible. But Lydia is also someone who has a strong logic. She's a good listener. She's goal-oriented, and everything that needs to be good for all the soft skills you need for a good no-code project manager. But everyone cannot be a no-coder. Those tell you you don't need skills to go to no-code. It's false. You need logic. You need user interface skills. You need to be a business expert, and then you will be a really good no-coder. Now, can you do it yourself, or do you ask someone to do it for you? Because it changes the delay and it changes the costs. Of course, if you do it yourself, it's going to be cheaper. But also, you must include training time and the fact that since you don't do that all the time, maybe you would do it a little bit less fast than someone who does that all the time. On the other hand, when you have an expert, it will be more expensive, but it will also be faster, and will have a business experience, and he will have also a no-code experience to share. So it's really a matter of what you have in your budget and what is your time budget also to choose that. Just as an interesting number, with Simax, 50% of our customer auto-integrate. They do all the project part, the build part themselves, but usually with the assist of a business manager, a business expert. And then about the evolution, 90% of our customers, they do evolution themselves. But for big evolution projects, they still outsource to business experts and integrators. And since they have such a huge return on investment on every evolution, it's like never ending. They are trying to evolve and get better and improve their performance. Now let's look at, is no-code safer? That's a really important question. And first, I'm going to throw at you an inconvenient truth. My competitors in the ERP and CRM market don't like me to share this number, but it's true. It's a number that is given by Gartner. 50% of ERP projects around the world fail. For CRM, it's even worse. It's 70%. So those numbers are not really good, right? In Simax, over the years, in 17 years, we have the rate of 96 successful projects. And that's good. And I think it's mainly because of no-code, and I'm going to share that with you why. The cost of failure, you have to take it into account into the project cost, you know. It's loss of money, it's loss of time, and sometimes it can even lead to company failure. We've all heard about those stories about some companies that changed their ERPs and were unable to invoice. And if you don't invoice, you don't get paid. If you don't get paid, you fail. So the thing is, with no-code, we already said that the projects are shorter. And the shorter the project, the safer the project. Why? Because if the project is long, then you have a lot of risk that there will be a change in staff, there will be a change in the law, that there will be a change in the competition, whatever. So shorter project, safer project. And also, the thing is that projects, every single project, they are made between humans. The users and the team, the project team, have to understand each other. And human communication is not perfect. It has never been and it will never be. And misunderstanding can have a huge impact, especially on code project, because if your user forgot to tell you something that was important, or if you misunderstood something, then at some point you have to correct it. And if you have to code for 3 months to correct it, then the project can fail. If it's 2 days of no code, then we're still on track, right? Recording is long and expensive, so it has much less impact with no code. And that's why I think it's the main reason why no code is more successful and safer. Also, like in no code, we have like highly tested pre-coding. There's no code generation in Simax, but you understand what I mean. And also, like we have higher securities. Like in Simax, if you delete a control, Simax will tell you, okay, watch out, because this is used there, there, and there. So do you really want to do that? And when you modify your code is never going to tell you, hey, you're about to do a bug. So that's really interesting. And also, we have what we call an audit trail, an undo-redo system. Everything is logged in, whatever action you do. And therefore, it is very secure for the users and everything. So now we know all this. How do you optimize no-code costs? So first of all, you have to define your project well. If you think it through, then with specification or with user stories, if you go for dynamic projects, if you are precise on where you are going, then of course it will be good on your cost. Second, don't reinvent the wheel. Please use examples or no-code modules or everything. Like, for instance, right now in Europe and especially in France, we have this change of legislation. Sorry, it's a mouthful. About invoice digitalization, like Factor X and stuff. I don't know if you heard about it. We were supposed to be ready for 2004. No one was ready, so now it's 2006. But the thing is that it's such a huge investment to be able to have this invoice system. You can't do that just for one company. You have to do that for many companies. So don't reinvent the wheel. Don't recreate an invoicing system. Please use something that already exists. And choose a complete tool or the right tool combination, of course. Train to do it yourself if you have the time. And anyway, even if you do it yourself, please use the expertise of a business expert to help you move along the project and use the best out of it. I see that we have a little more time, so how about we do a challenge together? I told you earlier that in 2008 we won this project for this veterinarian sector, and that we do that in 2 hours. How about we try to do it in 15 minutes now? The same functionalities on Simax, so we can see how fast we can go. Are you up for it? Okay, let's do that. I don't know how I'm going to do that with the mic, but that's a challenge. Oh, really? Oh, that's nice. Thank you. So, sorry. As you can see, I was looking up some translation. So, in Simax, we have a solution that works in the web, and we also have an on-premise version. So I'm going to show you also how it works. So for this company, they had they were using all the basic functionalities that we had, like CRM, sales, stock, purchasing, invoicing, cash flow, accounting, and everything. But they had a specificity. They had to know on their product which molecule they would use to make sure that when a customer comes to buy a product, that the molecule within the product would be able to cure a disease that that happens in the animals that the customer has. So what we did is that we added some functionalities in no code for this customer. So in Simax, you've got the list of forms. So you can see there are many of them already. And if you want to create one, you click on New. So here on the new form, we are going to create a molecule form. Oh, molecule. And we are going to create that on the veterinarian module. So this module does not exist, but we're going to create a new module that will help us change the access rights to say those persons have access to the veterinarian module or not. And we are just going to create, this one will be very simple. It's like an Excel spreadsheet with one column. We're going just to add a label. So the thing is that in Simax, we have more than 1,000 existing control types like telephone number, email address, zip code, whatever. And those, they use entry controls already, so that makes you save a lot of time. Also, so right now I'm creating the molecule form, and that means that Simax had created a table in the database, but you don't need to know what a database is, with all the actions to modify it, like create a molecule, modify a molecule, list the molecule, everything. And also we have new controls type, molecule and list of molecule that we can use in other forms. So let's do that together. We need to modify the product in order to know which molecules are in the product. So we're going to go to these functionalities here. We have all the items sold by the company. I think I see Doliprane somewhere. No, oh, sorry. Okay, good. So here in the control, every time you, yeah, okay. So here we're going to get into edit mode. And in edit mode, we're going to add a control that is going to be a data, and that is going to be our molecule. Oh, just have to write correctly. And then you can say it's a mandatory entry. It's just a checkbox to do that. Then we save. And so that means that Simax is also modifying the item table in order to be able to store this information. And so now we have the molecule control, so we can write it down. So we're going to say para C ta. Well, I don't know the name of the molecule in English, I'm sorry. And so we can create it and save it. Now, if we want to do what the customer asked, he wanted to be able to say, we had a visit for this customer and we encountered the disease that can be cured with those molecules. So what we're going to do very quickly is going to create another form. Sorry. I'm just going to ask my AI to go quickly. So visit is going to be in the veterinarian module. Okay. And now we're going to create the data. So it's just like creating an Excel spreadsheet. You've got the date of the visit, you've got the customer, you've got you've got the list of the molecules that can cure the list of molecules that can cure the diseases. And then we save, and then we have these functionalities. So now those functionalities, the list of molecules and the visit, it would be really great to add a menu for the users so they can access it. So what we are going to do is that we are going to customize the menu. Sometimes it's very funny. We're going to create a menu that is vet, and in vet we're going to add list of visit. Maybe like this, and then a list of molecule. Okay, and now that's it. So that menu will be added to our list. And sometimes we have customers, they would just ask us to have the same menu and the same menu entry as what they had in their previous software in order to reduce user training, and that can be very interesting to do that. So of course you can put your menu wherever you want in the list. So like right here. And now we can create a new visit. So the visit for maybe this customer, and we're going to add, well, a molecule. We can create another one. Maybe if it's, let's create another molecule, amoxicillin. I'm not sure about the, no, how it's written, sorry. I'm going to say that. And now, to finish everything that was asked by the customer, you need to know before the customer orders if we had a visit in the last 12 months that can be cured, that shows that you need this molecule. And that means that's according to the French regulation for medical product delivery to breeders. So now we're going to go on the order. So we're going to create an order. In Simax, we do not have code generation, but when you change the no-code specification, the system just have to think a little to map out its environment. So it's just the first time that you use the functionalities after a modification, and then after that, it's very, very fast. So we're going to add the customer, and when we create a new order line, if we choose the right product, then we will need to see if we had a visit in the last 12 months that can be cured. That detected a disease that can be cured with the molecule the customer is buying. And I'm giving you the short version. Okay, so right here, we need to add a new formula. So we're going to add this formula. So it's going to look like an Excel formula, more or less. So we'll say visit. We're going to find a visit. So we have many, many functions in Simax. They have the same name as the function in Excel for obvious reason, because the no-coders are more Excel people than coders. So we have many of them here. And so we have one of them that is very nice, that is called select. And select, you can say, okay, we want to find a visit. Visit here. So we want to find a visit for the same customer first. So the visit is for the same customer as the one here. And also we want this visit that has detected a need for this molecule. So the molecule is the one that we also have in the item. If you remember, we added that control before. And also, oh no, it's include, not equal, sorry, because we have a list on one point. And also this visit occurred in the last 12 months. So we have to say that this visit, the date of the visit was superior at add months. We're going to add months today. Minus 12 months. So I think we also have an add year function. Okay. So here we can say that we can find a visit. And so this visit control was put at the end, but if we want, we can put it right below the item control, like somewhere around here. Oh, perfect. And so now we will look at the order line, and in the order line, if we choose the item Doliprane, I hope the magic will happen. He's recalculating, so let's give it a little time, and we'll do it at real time afterwards if you want. Okay, and he found the visit. So he found the visit at the. So now we can build on that by creating an automatism. If this control, the visit, is not found, then we have to ask the veterinarian to validate the order. So that's what we are going to do. So what we are going to do is that we're going to go in the automate section in Simax, and we're going to look at the automation. So you have two kinds of automations. Look at automations on time event, like we've created this order like 3 months ago, and 3 days ago it's not delivered yet, so let's do something about it. Or automation on actions, like for instance, here we have an action of the users, and they have created an order line, and we can add conditions too, like they created an order line and the visit control is empty. It's equal 0. So if we create an order line and the visit control is empty, then we're going to do two things. The first thing is that we're going to change the value of the status of the order. So we're going to modify the status of the order. So status in order. I'm almost finished. And the value, we don't have a value for pending validation for the vet, from the vet, so we're going to create it. A status pending vet validation. Okay, so first we do that, and then we're going to send a message to the vet to ask him to validate it. So the subject is pending order validation, and the message is going to be product, and we can inform it what it's about to help him prioritize. Okay, and for the purpose of the demo, I'm going to send the message to myself. Otherwise, it won't show as well. So let's save it. And what here, it's not going to work, right? Because we have a visit. So what we're going to do is that I'm going to add another line for a totally different product, and And there it's going to be whatever, doesn't matter. And then, of course, for this line, it's going to be okay. So we have this alert that appeared here because we have a system of messaging in Simax that you can interface with your regular messengery, and also here you can find the pending order validation. So you can see what is the product, and also for the veterinarian, he can just click on the related button, and it goes right next to the data that he has to validate. Therefore, he can look at the total order also, and he can sign. We can add a sign control within the document, and then everything is in order. So we've just done it in 15 minutes. And this was more or less the functionalities that made us win this project in 2008. So since we have a few minutes left, if some of you have some questions, I would be really happy to answer them. So who has a question in the room?
1, 2.
Thank you. Do we have examples where code is cheaper than no code? Some edge cases, some...
I would say it's much more about when code is more efficient than no code. Like if you have to do a process on a huge number of data and you have it to be very, very fast, very, very efficient. Like the first version of code that you will do probably will be less efficient than a no-code version, but with a good programmer that spent the time to optimize, you will get a better result on those really big calculations over a huge number of values. So I'd say I don't have much example of stuff that would be cheaper in code than in no code, but I would have example of project where code would be better than no code. It's more about that, you know. At the end, I did a presentation yesterday, and the thing is that no code is just a mean to an end. What I usually say, maybe not here, but we are a CRM and an ERP. The no-code fact within the product is just the cherry on the top of the cake, you know. It's a mean to an end, but the end is a feature for someone who needs it. And the choice between code and no-code must be user-driven, functionality-driven. The price matters, of course, because if you have the choice between code and no code, it will be much cheaper in no code. But sometimes it just makes more sense to do it with code. Like for instance, the heart of Simax with an AI and everything, of course we do code to make it, and it wouldn't make sense not to. So did I answer your question correctly?
Yes, thanks.
Thank you. Is there another question? Thanks.
Thanks for the presentation. You had all those great stats about ERP systems failing and things like that, and I wondered if you guys put the fact that it is DIY, therefore staff have some element of empowerment when they create their own system, that maybe the engagement level, especially when it's something that's being forced upon them through something like legislation, where engagement might drop off and therefore failure might occur. Do you feel like that your system, that there's far less failures because there's a lot more ownership from the people who are building it themselves because it's no code?
That's really, really good question. Thank you. You talked about empowerment of the users team, and that's really key, I think, to project success. Whatever the project you do it either with code, with no code. I have an example. Like we have a customer that is BPI France, and BPI France they made a survey. and we had a 100% user satisfaction. And it was not because Simax is perfect, it's because the way the project is going, like every month they have this meeting and they decide on the future and the features they want, and users have a lot of creativity and say, oh, we would like that and that would be great and everything. And so the product is the product they want and they imagine, because since in no-code is fast, before Simax, when they were asking for stuff, like in the Monday morning meeting, oh, I would love to have that. Okay, yeah, let's write it down, but it never happens, you know? And then with no-code, they ask for it, and in the next sprint, in the next month, they have the feature that they asked for, and therefore that builds up creativity. It empowers them. It improves the quality of work. Everything gets better from it. So that's very important. And yeah, I think that's also like, it's not related to cost, but it's like a gain that you haven't seen beforehand, and that is really good. So yeah, thank you for bringing it up. Any other question?
If not, let's give some thanks to Myrène. Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
It was great.
And if you want to talk some more, please feel free to come and join us. We are at the bottom of the exhibit next to Glide. Thank you. Bye.
See you in 15 minutes for the next presentation.